the Jewish holidays and the meaning of it. And so he's offered to do that again. I thought it would be interesting to have him tell us about what we're in the middle of right now.
I don't know where I belong.
Okay, so there's a lot of misconceptions around Hanukkah and the meaning and importance and all that stuff. So I think it's a valuable experience for people to learn about. So, sorry, that's the last slide. Hanukkah, like what's the basic story of Hanukkah? It's called the Festival of Lights. It's observed 8 nights in a row, right? Started last night, Sunday night. Commemorates events that took place over 2,000 years ago. It was when Israel was, the Jewish people were occupied by the Greeks, and they destroyed the Jewish temple. They ransacked it. They used to light a menorah that had a candelabra that had 7 branches on it, and they used to use oil back then, right? Not candles, they used oil. So when they ransacked the temple, they took all the oil, they ruined all the oil, except for just a little bit of oil, just enough to last for one day. They had to send a rider off to get new oil from wherever grocery store back then you got your oil from. And it took 8 days for that trip to take place. And the miracle is that that little bit of oil that was only supposed to last one day lasted 8 days. It's a miracle, right?
That's cool.
Not a huge miracle in the world, right? So this is not a major Jewish holiday, Hanukkah. It's like the most, I want to say the most insignificant religiously, but it's a fun holiday. So it symbolizes religious freedom, resilience, because a group of Jews called the Maccabees, the family of the Maccabees, they revolted against Syria and Greece, and they did the battle. So they fought for independence and resilience, and that's what we celebrate. Traditionally, people put their menorahs in the window. If you know the Jewish movement, Chabad, it's an Orthodox group, you'll see these big silver menorahs around town, right, in different shopping centers and stuff. That's part of the desire to spread the festival of light and to show the pride. For those of you who watched the news this weekend in Australia, there was 1,000 people at a Hanukkah celebration in somewhere in Australia. I actually don't know what city it was in. Oh yeah, Bondi Beach, and 2 shooters, a father and son, killed like 11 people. So, and that's what they were doing. They were just out celebrating Hanukkah.
Thank you.
Part of it is.
So Jeffrey, I always thought there were 7 candles.
So in the traditional menorah, like if you go to a synagogue, there still are menorahs or candelabras that have 7 branches, right? A tall one and 3. That's just the traditional menorah. I don't even know where that tradition came from, but that was in the temple, right? This menorah with 8 branches and then the tall one, which I'll explain, is really called in Jewish, it's a Chanukiot. It's a menorah for Hanukkah, right? And it has 8, one for each night. So 8 candles, you light one each night to remember the 8-day miracle. So this one in the middle is called a shamash, which in Hebrew means guard, right? It's like the assistant, right? So you light this one, and then you use that one to light the others. You always start from the right to the left, just like you read in Hebrew, we read right to left. So this was the first night. Jewish holidays, for those of you who don't know, always start in the evening. So, and that's because if you know your Bible, or you know your Torah, in the 7 days of creation, it said it was evening and it was morning the first day, right? That's how it's written. Jews interpret that, the rabbis interpret that as to saying that the holiday starts in the evening. So Jewish holidays always start in the evening. So you light this one tonight, we're going to light 2, so we'll start here, we'll light this one, then this one, the next night until all 8 are lit. So the Jewish foods, because everything about Judaism is around they tried to kill us, we won, let's eat. That's our story. So
He's so cute.
So because the oil thing, the miracle of the oil, everything's around oil. So latkes, which is just a potato pancake fried in oil. Sufganiyot, which are right there, so if somebody wants to pass them out. They're jelly donuts, because donuts are fried in oil. So anything oil-based, fried, yeah, it's a real healthy holiday. So if you're coming on Thursday for the little Christmas celebration, Thanksgiving thing, I'll be serving latkes. Yes.
Oh, good.
Brandon, you.
I've been dying for that.
What's that? Fried, sure, anything fried chicken. Yeah, Manson Mike.
Without the fishing.
Gefilte fish, always good.
I
Yeah,
told my
that-
mother-in-law.
That's more traditional
Passover.
Passover, buddy. You can eat it anytime. So Gelt. So you have a little dreidel. It's a top. It has 4 sides to it, 4 letters. So the way this game is, it's a gambling game. And why do they do this? Because back in those days, Jews were not allowed to study, right? They were not allowed to gather for Jewish purposes. So they used to gather to play games, right? So if they were studying and the bad guys came, they just had their little dreidels out and they were just playing a game, and that's how they avoided it. So that's the start of this. So every player gets an equal amount of gelt or tokens. That's the Jewish, or the chocolate coins you have there. You can use real money or matchsticks or whatever. Players take turn spinning the dreidel. So there's 4 sides. The nun, if it lands on the nun, then nothing happens, right? So everybody puts in what do you call it? An ante. You put in a coin. So if you spin, you get a nun, you get nothing. If you get a gimel, you take everything, and then everybody has to re-ante up. If it's a hay, you get half the pot, and if it lands on a shin, you actually have to add to the pot. So it's just a fun game. And of course, in our Jewish tradition of always learning, parents use it to teach math to their kids, right? So anyway, questions? Because that's it. That's what I got.